Hey everybody, welcome to Friday Nights with Molly. We know that every other Friday night I have conference calls with you guys, Lee and I do. And then the other Friday nights we try to do a video for you. And with us just getting back from Hawaii, that awesome trip that we earned through Avon. If you weren't there, I'm telling you, you have no clue what you missed. I mean, I think a lot of the seniors are still recovering from jet lag and things like that, but everybody would tell you it's so worth it. You know, you go there, they treat you like kings and queens. It's probably the only time most of us get that solid week of relaxation. Came back with a little bit of a cold from the plane trip, but I'm still here, which is good. And so because I didn't have any one subject to really talk about tonight, what I decided to do is take questions from you guys and find out what are some of your questions. You know, some of you think that we do things so differently as seniors, and the deal is, in some aspects we do, because we've been around the racetrack of this Avon thing so many more times than a lot of people. But the great thing is that some of us, it's just that we stuck it out and we kept doing the same things over and over again that work, like you have to in a business. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. We are going to figure out, answer some questions, and some of them are simple questions, and I think sometimes we make them harder than they need to be. So I'm going to bring it back to the simplicity of it, and if I don't know the answer or I'm not an expert on it, because I'm certainly not an expert on everything, and actually probably not an expert on just about anything, but I think I've done a little bit of everything, enough to give you some help. So I don't know if we're going to get through all of the questions, because as you can see, I have got pages and pages of them. Some of these are repeats, so if you don't hear your name, don't be offended. It's just because the person before you or after you asked the same question. But we're going to start. And with me turning 50 in Hawaii, what you haven't seen is me and my glasses. So now I can be known as the SCUL with big hair with glasses. So see, I need this when I'm reading. So you all go ahead and make fun. You know, I know who you are. All right, let's get to it. All right, one of the first things that people ask me, and some of these came in private messages, I guess they didn't want to put them on the board, was, Molly, how do you distribute to your 300 customers the brochures and you save gas, time, and money? Okay, well, this is according to where you are in business, okay? Now, for me, sometimes, look, I read a lot of what's on Facebook, on all the different chats, not necessarily on Onward. But a lot of people try to make this, delivering all the brochures, they try to make it too complicated. People say, how do you do it? To be very simple, you know what? I know who my customers are. And, you know, when you deliver to people enough, you pretty much know what areas you're going through. And if you all remember, before I started Avon, my second full-time job was delivering newspapers for the local newspaper here. And the one thing that they showed me, which really was great because that's what I incorporated into my business, was from where we started, where we picked up our newspapers. We would start there, and my route was in, you know, one city town, but they would start at the closest one and would go, and then they just kept doing the route where it would loop you around. You know, when I tell people to find customers, there's a reason why I tell my team, this is where you're at. And what you want to do is you want to start here, and you want to reach all the neighborhoods that are right around you. Okay, and then what's going to happen is when you hit all those, you're going to circle out a little bit further, okay? And you're going to find all those. And you're going to keep circling out. The more customers you want, and then you know there's those that you pick up because you're handing brochures out. You're doing all of that, okay? Well, what I do is I developed a route. And people say, how do you develop a route? And I hear people say, well, I went and got this program, or I developed that program. Well, let me tell you something, sisters and brothers. I may have enough money to do that now, but I didn't have the time or anything else to do that, and I'm kind of known for trying to keep things simple, where it doesn't cost a lot of money, and you don't try to make it harder than it is. So my route starts at my home. So I went through all my customers and I put all my customers' names on labels. Okay, now this is what I'm going to show you. This is one of my customers' books together, okay? You see it's in a book because I'm either going to hang it on their door, hang it on the flag of their paper box or their news or their mailbox, whatever it may be. And I know some of you, they don't allow you to do it. Well, around here they do. As long as we're not blocking the entrance of the mailbox, putting it in the mailbox, they allow us to do it. Don't make a bigger deal than it is. If you got to hang it on the door, hang it on the door. Let's get to the good stuff, okay? So, this is ready to go. Now I'm going to take this out of the bag for just a second and I'm going to show you that here. You're going to see a label. Do you see that label? I already checked with Miss Laureen. She was absolutely fine with me putting her address on there. So when you see this, you see it has her name, it has her address, it has her city. What I did is I put all my customers' names and addresses on labels. And then what I did is, let's say these customers were in La Plata. These customers were in Newburgh. These customers are in Upper Marlboro, naming all cities around me, okay? The first thing I did was I divvied them up on labels according to what city they were in or what development they're in, what housing development, whatever. But I started with city, and then I said, from my house, from the location I'm starting with, where do I go from there? Of course, I started with the one who was closest to me. Started with them to where I knew I could leave my town or my development and I could go and make all the rounds. So when I do this and have everything ready, you see I have my good old date stamped on the back and I have my label on the back. What do I put on there? It has my first name, it has my 800 number, it has my email address, and I encourage people to order online. So my wording is express service online. You can go there, and when people say, Molly, what's express service? Well, if you order from here, you're going to get your order in 3 to 5 days, so you don't have to wait for me to put it in, okay? So that's what I do, okay? Now, once I do that, what do? Well, of course, everything's bagged per customer, right? Okay, so we got Miss Laureen's back in there, okay? And then what I do to make it easy for me and Lee is, you know the boxes that the brochures come in when you're ordering by groups of 60? Okay, this is what they come in. So for all of you who ordered 10 or 20 books, you're not going to see this. But because I order them 700 at a time, I have a lot of these boxes. And what I do is, after I put everybody in order, then what I do is they're here. You're going to see this first one here. She's got a label. This just says Miss Adams because Miss Adams is the closest to me. And I work my route all the way around to where the nearest to the furthest, and then I work it back. Now, I have to do my route for all those that are personal delivery, book deliveries. I have to do that in 2 days, okay? I do the south first, and then the other day I do the north. I schedule these days. I schedule these days every campaign. Unless something comes up where Avon's having a meeting for me or I have to do a sign up, and I try really hard not even to do sign ups when I know I have book delivery, because book delivery is very important. And I'll tell you something else that saves me time so I don't feel like I'm doing it twice in a campaign. I try to do book delivery the same time that I'm doing my product delivery, okay? My customer orders. I do it at the same time. Either their brochure is either in their order, or because I'm going on that route when I'm delivering this person's order, and I know I'm going to deliver it to that day because I'm doing the south, then what I do is I also do the orders and I do the brochures that are along the way. When I started doing that, it saved me time. May have taken me a little bit longer because of doing the orders too, but I wasn't going back to a place 2 and 3 times. Look, when I know I'm coming to La Plata to deliver to my customers, my deal is this. Hi, it's Molly with Avon. I have your order in. Wanted to let you know that your total is $20.37. My day for delivering in La Plata is Friday. I will be there. Could you please leave your check or your payment in an envelope on the door under the mat if you're not going to be there, and I will leave your order. Look, I don't give them an option. And when you start giving them a bunch of options, it is not your business any longer. Okay? So look, don't make it harder. I find that most of the roadblocks with Avon representatives, whether they're big, SEULs, or whether they're just starting, they try to overcomplicate it. They do things that are going to cost them more time, more money, more energy, more frustration. You don't need that, okay? So remember, KISS, keep it simple, silly, stupid, whatever you want to use. Keep it simple, silly, okay? You got to keep it simple. This is not a business that has to be complicated, but it's up to you to decide how you're going to do it. Great ideas all over Facebook. I am going to say one thing here that isn't a question, but I saw this today, and I'm just going to repeat it because I think it was absolutely fabulous. I was reading somewhere on Facebook today, Eric Mullins, mwah, you know I love you and your girl Lisa, you know I do. And on one of the chats, I saw Eric, somebody was talking about how district managers say this, but you know your top leadership says this, and the district sales managers get mad because you're listening to top leadership. And Eric made a very simple statement today, and I absolutely loved it. And what he said was this. He said, as far as the conflict between district sales managers and leadership, it's very simple. If you want to be a district sales manager, go work for Avon and do it Avon's way or the district sales manager's way. But if you want to get where top leadership is, your executives, your senior executives, if you want to get to where they're at, my suggestion to you is to listen to top leadership and how they do it. You heard the analogy. I believe I said it on my last video. If you need an operation and you have two doctors, one doctor has read all 360 books on your surgery. I mean, he has read it. He knows it. He feels like he could do it in his sleep. Then you've got the other doctor over here who has done that surgery 10,000 times, all of them successful. Do you want the person doing your surgery who is reading all about it and who is learning about it from books and from what people just tell them who think they know how to do it? Or do you want somebody doing your surgery who has done 10,000 of them, has run into every complication and failure that there is to? And do you want to lead? Do you want to follow that person? I think that says it in a nutshell. It's not about putting people down. It's not about saying the district sales managers don't know what they're talking about. Some of them don't, okay? But there's some leadership who don't know what they're talking about either. They just like to sound important, which of course isn't me, because why y'all are even here listening to this is beyond me. But that's where I take that. So Eric Mullins, what you put on there was so simple. I so loved it because it fits the pattern. If top leadership is telling you something and you're seeing that they're getting it done, figure out who you're going to listen to, because according to who you listen to, you're going to figure out if you're going to rise to the top in all this or not. Okay, let's get to the next question. Okay, here comes one. How can you get orders besides the website if you can't travel or the person doesn't have internet? Wow. Well, first of all, I'm not quite understanding if you mean that you, the representative, doesn't have internet, or the person doesn't have internet who's ordering from you. But let's touch on both. First of all, this is a business. If you think that you're going to get all your sales through the internet, guess again, because if I had to depend on just my internet sales, it would not work. And even people who have gone solely internet sales, I know that senior executive Pam Heller, she is the one who gave me the idea on the whole put on their express service online. That's what she puts on hers. And I believe that like her and Gwen Bowman, another senior, have now tapped into, if not 100%, close to 100% of their customers ordering online with them, whether it's them helping them put the order in, whatever it is, however they do it. But the point is, that's not how they started. When you hear that seniors or people are doing this, that doesn't mean, look, this is a very personal business. If you want people, look, you can't drive, I'm not being rude, can you walk? If you can be on Facebook asking me the question, can you put it out there to people that you have? My deal is this. People don't know what you're doing unless you let them know what you're doing. And that comes from the great Lisa Wilbur. What does that mean? Do you see the Avon shirt? Avon shirt. If you see me in a hat, my hats always say Avon. In the community room of A View from the Top Readers today, it was so great. Lisa Wilbur was posting her wrap on her car. I'm not telling you to go out and get a $3,000 wrap. I posted the signs that are on my car. I have my minivan, my Avon Mobile Roxy, and I have 3 signs that are huge on my windows of my car because I have that kind of vehicle that I can do that. I have gotten more customers from putting myself out there, even unconsciously. My husband, Lee Bibb, I'm not saying all your husbands are going to do it, but Lee Bibb wears an Avon shirt when we're out and about all the time. They all say Avon, the company for women and a few good men, because he is one of the good men. So what I'm telling you is, if you're not putting it out there and then you're always ready to give somebody what they need when they want to be a customer, you have to do something in this business. How are you going to get orders or sales? You have to go after them. How do you go get food? How do you go to somebody's house when you want to? Do you take the bus? Do you know how many people ride the bus? Why don't you take brochures and make sure you do that? Look, if you can meet up with them on the bus and they ride that bus every day, you can certainly say, I'll be back on the bus on Friday. This is what it's going to be. I'll have your order back. Bring your money. Look, I've got a guy in my area, Tom McAfee, and Tom does not have a vehicle. Tom is known in our area as Mr. Avon. He's an awesome Avon representative. Matter of fact, he earned a trip last year for the Alaskan cruise on increase, because where he's at, he has a big sign out in his yard that says Mr. Avon, and he has tables that are out there selling his product. It took him a while to develop those customers, but when the people in his area figured out that he was always out there and dependable, guess where they stop to get their bug spray, their Skin So Soft, their deodorant, their eyeliners when they need them. This man, this is how he makes his living. He is remarkable doing this because he figured out a way to do it in his circumstances. Failure was not on his list. Quitting was not on his list, okay? So first of all, decide what you want, then start thinking outside your box of where you're at. And you can do this. You just have to figure out your life and what you do in a week and take Avon with it. I always tell people, don't you get it? We are so lucky. We're the only company out there I know where it doesn't determine, in-home parties don't determine our sales. They don't determine how successful we are. So we can take our business because we have this awesome freaking brochure that we get every 2 weeks, and we can hand this out, okay? So I'm telling you, that is what you need to do. All right, let me look here. Let me see what is next on this. Y'all know you're gonna make me do the whole get my glasses thing. I know you are, but that's okay. All right, hold on 1 second. I am fixing this next one, because I have to show you a couple other things that I do. Hold on. Okay, all right, I got that ready for when we come to it. Okay, hold on. Next question. Do I need to have people working under me, like you do, in order to make the Puerto Rico trip a reality, or can I do it with sales on my own? Okay, and that came from new representative. How do I know she's new? Because she's on my team, Cindy Bowman. Cindy's wonderful. I've known Cindy for years. Cindy is somebody who has just moved, And so it's tough when you just move. It's tough when you don't know anybody in your area because you feel like you're kind of not starting with this instant customer base of people around you. But I have to tell you something about Cindy Bowman. She has not let it stop her. Number one, she's one of the few on my team that normally you make most of your sales by personal delivery. She doesn't. She has reached out to everybody she knows in Maryland and Virginia and all the other places, and most of her sales are coming from internet sales. And it's remarkable because her very first campaign, she had almost $400 in internet sales because her friends and family were supporting her. And they love Avon. So why not get Avon through her? So Cindy, what I tell you is this. You can earn one way. You can earn by sales, which is great, and you can earn either by being counsel, which is $112,000 in sales a year. That you're going to win a trip automatically when you sell that much for Avon. That's how they reward you. You can have the biggest increase, in the country. You can be the top 20, okay? And I believe there's so many in the division too. They've changed that so many times. Or you can get your S1 and you can be a senior like me. Of course, because I do both, you're going to hear me say, absolutely, you can do both. I'm a senior. Now, I'm not counsel. I'm Rose Circle. I sold over $38,000 personally. I love that. That's great because I show my team that you can do that and do leadership too. Okay. So yes, you can, and you can earn the Puerto Rico trip. But again, Cindy, we talk, I know, at least 2 or 3 times a week. You're getting it. You've just got to remember that in your quest for other things that you're doing, you have to remember to take Avon with you everywhere. This is possible. I've seen people do it in the first year and earn these trips. Okay. But it's how bad do you want it and how determined are you that you're going to make this work, and don't sweat the small stuff. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. How do you handle a customer base of 300, which we just talked about that. Thank you, Shauna. I appreciate that, but I think I pretty much explained that. And by the way, Shauna, on this one, it is not just the fact of delivering. Look, I also use campaign mailer for more than half of my customers, okay? Those who are further out than I want to go. But for years, I did go. For years, running my route was a 3-day thing because I used to have to take 3 days out of my 2-week period and go deliver books and orders. And I decided I wanted to cut that because as my team was getting bigger, I needed to be able to do something and manage this a little bit better. So half of my 300, actually a little more than half, are now through campaign mailer. The more books that you send out through it, the cheaper it is. But the ceiling point for this is if I can pay somebody else to do something and I can pay them less than what I'm making, then it's time for me to give it up and it's time for me to hire somebody else. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I manage them because now they just kind of know what I do. If it's personal, me delivering their brochures, they know they get them. The dates are on the back. I also manage them by using VoiceShot, VoiceShot.com, and that is my reminder that goes out 2 days before my order goes in, and that goes out to everybody. It is a fee, but again, it costs me less using VoiceShot and taping my message, and they send it out to everybody. They either answer it live or it goes on their answering machine. It is either easier to do that than me sitting and trying to call 286 people asking them if they have an order for me. That was great when I had 10, 20, 30 customers. I could manage that. I can't manage that now. Okay. God, these glasses look weird. Anyways, so I can't manage that now. So I bought in different services and in some case people to help me. Let me tell you what else I did. I know it's a question in here, but I'm going to go ahead since we're talking about brochures. I do not get my brochures ready. You see this. You see how my brochures are ready. I know I saw on the Onward site how people say they don't give out outlet books and they don't give out mark books. Oh well, shame on you. Those are salespeople. They're sales. Okay? Now, when I'm doing up free books, take me on free books and I'm leaving stuff, I never include that stuff because they have to be a customer and they have to order from me at least once in order to get the other goodies. And I call Mark and Outlet other goodies. But my customers look forward, the ones who like Mark. Everybody gets Mark initially for 4 campaigns to see if they will order from Mark. If they don't, that's fine. But I know the ones who do, and they get a Mark book. But my other customers, everybody gets an Outlet. Everybody. Because I don't know if you've noticed, it's really hard to keep up on what Avon decides to keep and what they're going to discontinue. But the customers look through that Outlet book. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying you have to, but if you wonder how I'm Rose Circle and a senior executive, because I take advantage of every sale that we have out there. You're going to have seniors who tell you differently. This makes my life easier. I love it when they buy $30 from the main book from me and $30 from the Outlet from me. That's a $60 order, and it would have only been $30 if I just gave them the other one. So I'm not telling you it's the way to go. Please keep in mind with these videos, what I'm telling you is what has been successful for me in my business. What I tell you on here is what's worked or what I have failed at or whatever we're talking about. So I am not the end all of answers. I'm just somebody who's sharing my journey with you and what's helped me stay at a level that I feel like I need to be successful. And I think for me to be a true leader who shows everybody on my team, sales and leadership, what to do is to hold a title and be able to be something that should be President's Club or above. I tell you all the time when I'm talking that I require that to be, if they're not already President's Club, I require that of my unit leaders, that should be one of their goals, because how are you going to show people you're bringing into the business that they can make money selling Avon if you're not at least selling 10,100 in a year? I mean, I'm just saying that just seems, what are you going to show them if you're not making money in sales? So for me, I hear people go, oh, well, you can't be higher than President's Club and be a senior. Well, I got a whole bunch of senior friends that I would beg to differ with you. Have you met Teresa Paul? Have you met Pat Putzer? Have you met Ginger Michelle Cap? Have you met people who are out there doing a heck of a lot more than I'm doing? I'm talking council level, inner circle, and above, and still do this. I'm not telling you you have to be that. Do I tell you that most of them are? No. But I know that there should be no seniors who don't do President's Club, because guess what? To earn the trip, you got to be President's Club. And I think it's great that Avon does that, because we need to lead by example. Just saying, just my feeling, but that's how that is. So what I'm saying, Shauna, and to the rest of you who had questions like that, you have to figure out what works for you, okay? What works for you. And when you feel like it's becoming more stressful and it's costing you more time and money than it should, then my thing to you would be bring in services or people to do what you're doing. My sister-in-law, I pay her. She is my assistant as far as getting books and stuff ready. She labels my books for my customers. She stamps my books. She does this. You see this? This is what she does. I give her the labels. I give her everything I need. And by the way, those labels I told you about earlier, they are in the order according to my delivery. And yes, that does mean I have to keep changing my labels when I get new customers for delivery. But if I'm starting closest to home, it's, well, let me show you. I don't think I have one of those labels, but here's a label with Take Me I'm Free on it, okay, that I use. When we start here, this is how my list goes. And my list goes down according to who the customer is and who my next delivery. So when Lee's holding that box in his hand, or if he's not with me and that box is beside me, and I've just delivered to Miss Adams, the next book I look at, okay, Margaret Geddick's next. Okay, Miss Everture, she's next. I know who's coming next because it's in order in that box, so it makes life simpler for me. I'm not trying to figure out who I missed. My books, my box of books, it tells me everything I need to know. Okay? All right, next question. Is having a downline optional or mandatory? Of course it's optional. Leadership is optional in this business. I don't care what you hear from the managers or who people say that you should do it. Now, personally, do you want to know where the real money is, the residual income is in this business? It is in leadership. I'm a firm believer. And believe me, this is the girl who was dragged kicking and screaming into leadership, okay? Kicking and screaming. Did not want to do it until I heard of the bonuses and stuff. And yeah, I remember getting the $11 checks and the $23 checks. But you know what? Those $2,000 checks every 2 weeks aren't too bad right now. And look, I'm low end. When you think about people like my upline, Mary Ann Penn, who's doing $4,000. Let's go way up. Let's go Lisa Wilbur, who's doing 11 and 12,000 every 2 weeks. So tell me something. If you're selling at President's Club level, and let's say you're selling $450 worth of Avon, and you're making $230, would you like to be doing that plus making an extra $300 or $400 off the people that you have bought in? Leadership, they're doing all the work. You simply are training them and mentoring them, and once they get it, they're on their own with their business. Most of the time, they don't even act like they really need you, but you're going to get a cut of that action when they go out there and they perform. Who wouldn't want to do that? Some don't. And I have a lot on my team who don't, and I'm okay with that, because leadership does come with a responsibility. Leadership comes with making sure that you are there for your team. And if you're not somebody who feels like you can be there for your team, you notice I didn't say boss your team around. You notice I didn't say tell your team what they have to say. I said be there for your team. When they come voluntarily, when they call you back voluntarily, you know they're in this thing to win it, whether it's for sales or it's leadership and sales together. The point is, when you don't have to drag them, okay, and you have not been able to entice them, even like me when I was kind of dragged in. No, because once I heard about the money I could make, I pretty much said, well, I think I need to give this thing a shot too. Let's just see. It's not costing me any more money, so let's see. Okay, so I would say no, it is optional, honey, but if you want to make the real money, hey, let me tell you something. Give it a try, but you got to give it a try for longer than 4 campaigns, and you can't piss and moan when somebody decides they're not going to put it in order. Well, you can, but it's not going to get you anywhere, so I'm telling you, don't waste your time. This is building a business, and you cannot build a business overnight, and I don't care if it's a sales business, and I don't care if it's a leadership business. It takes time, okay? All right, let's talk about this. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, really? I need to, like, increase the fonts or something on things. Let's see. Okay, Teresa Spinks, when you appoint a new team member, to what extent do you physically assist them in training? Do you hold group training meetings? Do you point them towards Avon pathways? That is an excellent question, Teresa. And look, I'm a firm believer with my team, that I need to be there for them. This is what I noticed, though, and you're probably noticing this too, the bigger your team gets. You feel like, wow, how can I keep spreading myself, out? I feel like every time I turn around, yeah, you are going to feel that way. But when we're training them, what happens is, for a lot of them, they figure out what they want in this, and they go and they do. You can't forget, don't train them to be dependent on you. You want to train them to be independent sales rep. That's why it's on there. Independent sales representatives. Yes, we hold meetings. Matter of fact, my executive and I are getting ready to start something for our team that we are going to be doing probably once a month, I believe, starting in August. We're trying to get a new training thing together that is going to be fun, probably in the direction that Millie Garcia is going with the whole Stay Connected meetings that she does. Mary Ann Penn, my upline, already has leadership meetings for the team. And look, do all our leaders come to these? No. A lot of times are what we call lifetime unit leaders is what we call them. They're just going to be, they're unit leaders for life, and that's all they want, and that's okay. And they don't want to build down, and they don't want the responsibility of, other teams and this and that. They don't want that. That is their decision. They're allowed to do that. But I do as much as I can. Second meetings with anybody I sign up or with somebody that I have helped somebody sign up. Absolutely. I believe in the second meeting. Because this is what happens. This is what I found out. When I wasn't doing the second meeting and I was just doing things like the phone calls and following up, when I wasn't holding them accountable, at least for the second visit, I found out a lot of them would not, they wouldn't perform or they'd get caught up in what they were doing, whatever it may be. So this is my deal. When I'm right there, once we sign the contract and I'm done presenting with the Avon Bible and the books and showing them what they need to do, blah, blah, blah. When I'm done with that, I say, now, your next order goes in on Tuesday. So what I was thinking is this. Is there any way that we can meet, say, on Saturday? That's before your order goes in. I want to make sure that it goes smooth for you. I can bring my computer. We can meet here at Starbucks again or McDonald's because they have the Wi-Fi. We can go in and I can help you. I can help you put your first order in and walk you through it, because once you kind of see somebody helping you do it, I realize that it stays with you a little longer. I am more than willing to do that with you. Would you be interested in going ahead and scheduling and giving me 30 or 40 minutes beforehand? Bring your orders with you. You don't have to do anything with them then. Bring them with you and also have what you want. Bring your order for you and your family with you, and we'll get that in at the same time. We'll get your supplies from your supply list ordered. I will show you how this is done, and I bet it sticks with you longer. 95% of the time they say yes, they schedule with me right then. It goes in my book. When you wait and you do it later, it doesn't happen. Okay, so for those newbies coming in, I try to do that, and I try to tell my team to do the same. Do I know for sure that my team is doing the same all the time? No, I don't, because I don't watch them like a hawk, because they are independent sales representatives who've chosen to be leaders too. But I bet you that I could go and take one of my unit leaders, and for the ones who aren't putting in their orders, their team, I bet I can tell you is not doing it. And when I'm training my leaders and telling them what they need to do, look, I don't tell them, that's probably a bad choice of words. I tell them what helps to make me successful. I want to see them successful, so that's why I share it. Now, there's a lot of people who will say to me, but Molly, I can't go ahead and schedule with that now. And I will say, okay, look, a lot of this, when I was working 2 and 3 jobs, guys, I couldn't do this. So listen, this is what I'm doing now. But when I was working 2 or 3 jobs, a lot of what I did training-wise was over the phone. I did not have Skype then. I didn't have a lot of the stuff that I have now. But I would call them and say, can I call you on this day at this time? What's good for you? Let's schedule a phone conversation where you can be in front of your computer and I can be in front of mine and I can walk you through it. And I would get a lot of people to say that. Some people just get it on their own and they're okay. I think what you have to do is offer everybody the same thing. But listen, don't expect them all to take you up on the same thing. Some people don't need it. They're independent from the get-go. And if you're explaining what they need to be doing and giving them what they need in that starter kit, whether it's my Avon Bible or a system you've come up with yourself, if you're giving them what they need, some people only need a couple of phone calls to make sure they're doing something right. And otherwise, besides calling and checking on them, good job, newsletters, stuff like that, you're not really hearing from them because they choose not to be bombarded by us. So you're going to have to treat each person separately. I keep a lot of notes on my team until I get to know people, figuring out what have I figured out on my own that they want or don't want from me, okay? So sometimes some things can be across the board as far as what you offer them, but then you have to figure out what they're receptive to, and you have to respect it. I know you want them all to just grab a hold and love it, but some people don't. They've got their own ideas of what they want to do it, and until they're wrong and they're not figuring out and they're asking you, I constantly put it out there to them, but I just don't get an attitude when they don't do it, okay? Because you kind of sometimes have to follow their lead because it's their business, okay? So that's my answer on that one. Carla Griffin, what do you do when you were in stalemate with yourself? You dream big dreams and you have a team of 99 under you, but you can't get them motivated, or myself. No upline to talk to, no DSM that returns calls or emails. Wow, Carla, I hear you. Okay, Carla, you know how real I am, okay? Gotta be real. Guys, you see this? Look, you see this? Dallas Cowboys. How many of you ain't gonna listen to me no more because I love the Dallas Cowboys, okay? My husband, he's so wonderful. He takes care of me, always bringing me in stuff to drink. Yes. So no snide remarks on the Cowboys, or poof, be gone. You hear me? Don't do that. Okay. Carla, getting in a stalemate happens in this business. Newsflash, girl. It happens in every business, okay? But this I will tell you. When you have a team, they kind of follow what happens. They follow what happens, what you're putting out there. I want to ask you, if you're in a stalemate, you don't have an upline, I'm going to tell you, you don't need an upline to be successful. You don't have a DSM that returns your calls or emails. You don't need a DSM to be successful. If you have one who does want to answer and they do want to be there, that can be a plus, okay? But listen to me. I'm not going to sit here and take excuses because you don't have a DSM that does this, that says, how do you keep motivated? Girl, there are so many times, even now, having my S on, that I want to take all these books and everything and say, screw it! I just don't see how this is worth it. But I'm still here. But what I try not to do, look, I'm very honest. I tell people I do get that way. But I have to find things that keep me motivated. Now, if you see right now, when you're watching this, whoever's watching this now, it could be that it's done. But there was a reason that I put on a dreams board contest on the Onward No Matter What group. The dream boards weren't for me. They were for you. Because since I've been in this business, I've always had a dream board. Most of the stuff I had on my dream board had to do with my kids. Because everything I wanted had to do with them. You have to figure out, what is it in life that you need, that you want? What is it that you want to empower yourself for? And that, your why, is what keeps you motivated. I listen to Les Brown. I read self-help books. I stay away from the people who are negative and who don't believe in me. It's not always easy because sometimes it's family and stuff, so it's not always easy, but I've learned. In this business, there has to be something to motivate you. And as far as saying, what can you do to keep your team motivated? Girl, Avon is a $10 opportunity to have any size business you want. My business is a $1.3 million business right now. That's what we did last year, $1.3 million. So a $20 investment 9 years ago, with a lot of nurturing, a lot of staying power, never give up, falling back, working forward, falling back, pushing forward, falling back, sitting and crying and pouting about it, getting back up, pushing forward. People get hurt, wasn't working my business, get up, start working it again. What do you want, Molly? My dream board. What do I want? My dream board. Listen to me. What do you want? What is it that's going to keep you doing this? That's going to keep you away from or wanting to get away from a $7.25 an hour job? That was huge for me. I wanted nobody to tell me what my worth was anymore. You have to figure out what your team's why is. They're not going to tell you right away. What do I do to keep my team motivated? Look, I just try to be me and I try to listen. Because look, I'm not going to drag them to the finish line. If they don't want what they want, if all they want is that little bit of money they're making, I just let them make it. But I work with the ones who say they want more and they do something more. Everybody can tell you what they want, Carla, But until you find the diamonds who say, take me, I want to go, what are we going to do? I have a couple on my team right now who are chomping at the bit to get out there and do stuff. Sandy Zenko is one of them. Sandy was my customer for almost 8 years, and she's been watching me for 8 years, and she's now one of my representatives. And we've had Hawaii and stuff like that, so we really haven't been able to get out there. So she's really been learning from the Onward group how to get out and work your business every day, and trying to build a customer base, and tables, tailgating, things like that. And I can't wait to get out there with her and say, let's go out and try to get you some more customers, because when they're willing like that, you try to get out there with them. But I hear people say all the time, what can I do to keep people motivated? Guys, you've got to show them the money. If they're not willing to go out and make the money and go out and get the customers and do what you're giving them and attend your meetings, whatever it may be that you're doing, then I would say you've just got to let them do what they want to do. I say to people all the time, I may have, 400 and something on my team, but if I had everybody that me and my team have ever signed up, we would probably have 1,800 on our team. A lot of people fall off because they think this is going to be like an hourly job. They put in 2 hours and they're going to make that. No, this is a business, and a lot of people don't realize that. So what's going to keep you going? I can't tell you that, Carla. I can tell you what keeps me going is that now I see my granddaughter who's 5 years old, and one of my dreams is to take her on the Disney cruise, and that ain't cheap, girl. The only way for me to do that is to keep my excellence and keep growing. So I would say figure out what it is and build yourself a dream board. And I hope all you guys that are doing your dream boards on this Oprah.com thing, listen to me. They're beautiful, by the way. They're beautiful. But I'm looking at some of the ones who are making these homemade boards. I think the boards that you're making are Oprah are great, so that when you start your computer up or whatever, you can see that dream board on there. Do you know what my dream board is? I have to walk past my dream board no less than 100 times a day, because it is right there. I have to, this little cup, this wall that sits there, it's right there. It should have a beautiful picture on it. It used to. But my dream board's right there. What I want to do, what I have done, so I can see what I want to accomplish and what have I accomplished. There's a reason for that. I can't lose sight of why I'm doing this. I can't lose sight of why I work so hard with this company that I love. Okay? So as much as I would love to give you the answer, your answer is somewhere inside of you. And I want you to look for that. And I want you to put it up somewhere where you can see it every day. Your bathroom mirror, up on the ceiling, when it was Brad Pitt. No, I'm kidding. So, whatever it is, it's keeping you going. You have to know. And we have to get inside the heads and the hearts of our downlines and find out what do they want. And when you find out whether it's a new refrigerator or a dryer, or the fact that their kid wants to play football but they don't have the extra money to do it, if you can find out what they want to make and say, look, I can help show you how to build your sales business. I can show you how you can make bonuses by bringing people into the business. I can show you, if you can show them that, if you can find out what their why is, and that's not as easy as district sales managers and everybody makes it. Some people don't trust you right away on that. But if you build a relationship with them, don't just look at them as somebody who puts money in your pocket. These are people who have real needs. And no matter what they say about, oh, I just love Davon and I wanted the discount, I truly believe somewhere deep in them, there's something that they need that they may not be willing to share yet. But you keep your doors open, no matter how many times they try to shut it. If you keep it open, eventually they might walk through the door. Okay, so I hope that helped you. All right, guys, let's see here. I keep getting this question from people that are not a part of my team. What do you go over in your team meetings? I never have answers for those that ask me because I haven't held one yet. I really need this one answered. Okay, Teresa Henry. Teresa, when you think about having an Avon business, what's the most important thing? Sales. We think that people should know what we know. You have figured out how you build your business. It just seemed easy because you're one of those, you're exceptional. And you just knew. We have to, that's why we have new rep training. New rep training is anyone, LOA 1 through 6, they can come once, they can come twice, whenever they want to come. A lot of the information's repeated, but we give them things like different places they can go to find new customers, and then we kind of illustrate for them. You all have heard me before, the Customer Appreciation Day. For me, Customer Appreciation Day, every day I go into an office with brochures and samples, because I want them to know that yes, they can, everybody can do this. You should have a brochure handy with you all the time. I mean, I teach them things that I'm showing you all on here. This is what I go over on them. According to where your reps are, they need to hear this. They need to hear how to make their business the simplest. Remember, we want them to work Avon around their life, not their life around Avon. It doesn't have to pattern a district sales manager. You ain't got, you know what? You can hold a brochure open just as well as anybody else without making a whole bunch of fancy slides and saying, oh my gosh, did you see, let me find a good one here, because you know that they in here. Did you see, boy, hasn't this been the talk of everything. Have you seen the new perfume that's out? Oh my gosh, have you smelled it? Now, what I do with that, what do? I make sure that I give everybody a sample pack of that perfume. That is something I do that whether the manager still do it or not, I don't know, but I do it. If I'm going to talk about a particular product that I think is really going to do well, because I have to believe in the product or I'll never get them to believe in it, then I have samples that I give them to start them out. I go over, you know how in the demo magazine that sometimes if for every 3 packs of samples they buy, they'll get a 4th pack for free. When that's available, I bring that up. I bring that demo book with me. I show them how they can build orders. Not necessarily one from Avon's order builder, but I will do an order right there. I go over products that I think are very, very important, that are big, big, huge sellers for me. Okay, so I think that can be something that's really good. People will say to me, well, how do you teach them how to approach? Well, there's a bunch of different ways. You all know me. I am the Target and Walmart hanging queen of the bathrooms. You know that. That's what I'm known for. Or the airports. Did you all hear? I don't know if you were on the call. I actually got a recruit from leaving books and recruiting flyers on the plane, hiding them in the shopper magazine that's in the back of the seat. Got somebody in Texas, okay? So I'm telling you, stuff like that works, okay? So this is what I show them. And look, I show them. I don't tell them. I show them. Okay, guys? I always make sure that I have these with me, at least 2 or 3 of them, and I keep more in the car. This is why I tell you you need more than 10 brochures. I'm always expressing that to representatives. When the books that I have not hung, I never put a date on them. I don't care when they order. I'm going to satisfy their order no matter what. So I use any book no matter how old it is. But yes, here is a book, as you can see. This is from Campaign 10 because I still have some Campaign 10 books. I have my recruiting flyer on it. Before everybody goes crazy and wants to email me about the recruiting flyer, join the Onward No Matter What group. We will approve you, and in our files, this flyer is in here. There is 4 to a page. Again, people come up with a lot of recruiting flyers. It costs a lot of ink, a lot of money, a lot of too much information. I have been using this recruiting flyer for 8.5 years. It has gotten me more representatives than any other flyer. My mama used to tell me when she was alive, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't need another one. I make it a different color so it will stand out. It doesn't make it too complicated. You cannot overcomplicate this business. Give them the main reasons that I think what brought me into Avon. That's why these reasons are on here. And let it speak for itself. So when I can't talk to somebody, I take these and I leave them. Look, if I'm going into a doctor's office or something that I'm actually going to, or a nail salon or something, I will staple the recruiting flyer to the brochure, but I'll take it out of the bag and I put it there. Do you see the label I put on there? Take me, I'm free. I don't want anybody thinking it's an office catalog. Somebody left it on the back of the bathroom door by accident. No, I did it on purpose. I'm telling you, take it. It's free. And that's why I make up labels and labels of this, and on all my extra brochures that my sister-in-law makes up for me, and she does it every campaign for me. Those go in my purse. It says, "Take me, I'm free." Everything it does. Now, people I meet in person. Again, we talked about making sure that people know, Avon, know what you're doing. One of the main ways they know how I'm doing is having signs on my car. My tag says Avon. My car says Avon. I have people who stop me continuously and they want an Avon brochure. So what do I do in that case? This is what I do. I have books that are like this. Yes, originally they are in the plastic bag, but when I give it to them, I take them out of the plastic bag, okay? So, here we go. We got the book. You know that seductive book everybody's talking about. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so this is what I do. This has got the recruiting flyer, everything it did before, has my information on the back. But when somebody says, "Oh my gosh, you sell Avon?" Of course I do. There are signs on my car. I don't say that. I think it. Okay? But yes, I do. So I do the Post-it note thingy, and I got this from my very first district sales manager, Debbie Bowers. God bless you, Debbie. This is something I still do to this day. And I take them and I write on here, and you can get them to actually in different places. They can actually like print that on there. I'm just like, I just write it. Who cares? So I put a sticky note on all of them that says name, cell number, and email. And I say to them, I'm going to give you this brochure. If there's anything you need, you can get a hold of me. But I want to make sure that you don't ever miss a brochure. Because do you know that every 2 weeks, Avon has a new brochure? Can you imagine the sales you're missing if you didn't know that? So if you will just put your name, your phone number, and your email on here, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you before my order goes in and see if there's anything you need. And if you feel like putting your address on there, feel free to do that, and I'll make sure I drop a book off every campaign. I'll just hang it on your door, but that way you'll have one. Okay? Could you do that for me before you? And the thing is, it's all set there. I'm not having them having to hold a pad too. I just take it out. They've got it. They're writing it on there. It's on book. It doesn't get complicated. I have the pens always ready in my car and my little thing down on the floor. They fill it out. Now, do they ever tell me no? Sometimes they do. Do I still give them the book? Of course I do. Do they order? Sometimes they do. This is a way for you to get the information. But guys, if you don't ask, they're not going to willingly give it up. Okay? So this is something. So this is what I'm telling you, Teresa. These are the things that I give people. Some people come into this business and they're very shy. And the first thing that they work on is, of course, when they can just do leaving the books. Look, when I came in, I didn't want to do this part. I know you guys can't believe that, right, Molly? You doing it? Yeah. No, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to talk to nobody and say, "Can I have your information?" That scared me. I was afraid they're going to say no. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. No became something that now I'm like, who cares if they say no? That has come with years of experience, okay? But hanging books and putting them everywhere, tossing books. Look, not only did I not have the time to get out and do this, but when I first started, I was a little bit scared to talk to people. I didn't know how they'd respond. I knew I loved Avon, but I didn't know if everybody else did. Your team feels the same way, guys. You can't get frustrated because they don't want to do everything that you do in the beginning. Remember, you grew into this business. And if you didn't, and you were this great person who did it all right, well, great for you, but not everybody does that. Most people don't, okay? So what I'm telling you is, Teresa, the important stuff, babe. It does not have to be all shines and glimmers and stuff up on the wall. Look, the people who are doing that now grew into that. Let me tell you something. I want to be as great as Angelica Gay, okay? I love that girl. I love that girl so much. She might at least Starbucks girl, okay? But I have to tell you what she does. She's wonderful because when I see her pictures, and you need to follow her if you don't follow her, Angelique Agee, A-G-E-E. She's awesome. She's a senior. When she has her stuff at McDonald's and places she actually uses, and I have a projector too now. I didn't in the beginning, but she will use that. She has a great wall she puts it up on. She puts slides up there. I do that in my leadership meetings for my leadership now. I didn't used to. But Angelique didn't start that way. She started like the rest of us. And by the way, that's awesome when you can get a few girls. I don't care if it's one person. Teresa, don't you ever get discouraged, even if it's one person who shows up, because I say to them, this is awesome. Now it's just you and me time. You're going to get all my attention. That's great. Let's sit down. Let me show you what's helped to make me successful. That way, if you have questions, you ain't got to worry about asking me. We're just right here together. Make it according to what you have. It's okay. That one person grows up to be you in their Avon business. Oh, girl, that could be your future executive to get you to senior, okay? So don't overcomplicate meetings. Do I bring up leadership? Of course I do. I very much, you've seen the Avon Bible, and if you haven't, again, it's on the Onward site. Teresa, that sheet about the believe that I put on there that shows the people, the 25, that they can make the $500 bonus, plus the one that Avon gives us that looks like, okay, let me show you, Teresa. Oh, I love my husband. He has my kit material right here for me. He's the bomb. Okay, Teresa, this one. Okay, showing them the bonuses, and who knows when this will change. God only knows, but I'm telling you, this is it. And then, of course, if they've seen this, because I tell them all to bring their folder with it, this is great. This is a little bit, the inside's okay. This side can be kind of complicated, but I go over this because everybody knows people who need money. I don't preach leadership at them, okay? But I always try to inflect a little bit of it in there because I feel like everybody knows a couple of people, and if they can get the bug, that could be your next unit leader to help you get to your next title, okay? So that can be a good thing. Okay, let me see here, find my glasses. Okay, Brandon. Brandon, you're awesome, by the way. I got one. What are your top 10 bestsellers? I'm hoping you do a spreadsheet sorts, can look this up online as well. Brandon, I'd like to tell you that I keep a spreadsheet on that. But what happens is when you are an Avon representative, you kind of know what the bestsellers are because Avon doesn't lie. What Avon says their bestsellers are, they really are their bestsellers. For instance, I sell so much Skin So Soft, okay? So what I'm going to do is I've marked here in this book what my 10 bestsellers are. I got to tell you, one of my best bestsellers is Mesmerize Cologne for Men. My Lord, that in the Wild Country. I know they're two of the oldest ones, but people love them, okay? So I'm going to tell you that's number one. I'm going to tell you that the Nugenics, as far as skincare, is my number one, and what's ranking a close second now is the AE that the Anu has now, the Absolute Even. That is really, that's building, but I love the Genix. And let me tell you what's cool about this, Brandon. Do you know what's become some of the favorites, the things that are my favorites, okay? Like when it comes to skincare, what I've told my customers that I've used and what it's done for me and my skin, whatever it may be, okay? The point is, I feel that they take my opinion and then they use it. And if I can get them sampling it with the samples or saying, this is important, this is why you should do it, they love it, okay? They absolutely love it. So I love that. So that is one of the big ones. What are the other things that I was going to tell you about? Hold on. I have my pages marked here, and you know that, okay, Glimmer Sticks, huge, the Glimmer Sticks are. I love that. Now, let me tell you what's really funny. What's really funny about all this is that I would love to tell you, like, the Super Extend mascara, everybody seems to like that, but I'm so excited about this new mascara, and I've really been talking it up with my customers. I'm wondering if that is going to blast past. I really am, because I love it, and I'm hoping that a lot of other people are going to love it too. Nail color, huge for me. My nail color, number 3. Number 3, not any one color. Look, when Avon comes out with 2 or 3 colors, man, they just want them all. So I'm telling you that nail color is huge. Glimmer Sticks are huge. Okay, hold on. There was one more thing back here. Okay, we talked about Skin So Soft, and I mean the whole Skin So Soft line. Moisture Therapy. Again, top 10 for me, Moisture Therapy. The Footworks Intensive Cracked Heel Relief. Why is that one of the top 10 for me and what my customers buy? Do you want to know why? Because if you haven't seen the testimony that I put on Facebook about that, about my granddaughter's hand, she was all broke out with a severe eczema, and my daughter-in-law had spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on prescription creams to help this and putting gloves on at night. And this poor little girl, who was now 5 years old, was 4 at the time, and she looked like she had 90-year-old women's hands. It was terrible. And I said, look, it can't hurt it. Let's try it. She spent the night at my house one night with me and her poppy, and we just put that on and let her go to sleep, and put it on her feet too, because she had some on her feet. And the next day, there was an improved difference. I sent it home with Brittany and said, Brittany, I need you to try this. Just do me a favor. Try it for 30 days and let me know. And just do it every night, Brittany, feet and hands, and let's see what happens. And Brittany was kind enough to try that for me, and I was able to put a picture of before and after for this cracked heel relief. I know it says it's for cracked heel relief, but I use it on my elbows. I've had people who their business are in hands or in water all the time. This girl's hands were completely back to normal. Cracked heel relief, footworks, but because I put the testimony out there, and I also put the testimony out to my customers, it shot up to my number 5 on my list. So I'm just telling you, that's a huge one. And I think for a lot of people, a lot of the things are different, Brandon. You know, you're going to meet, look, seasonally, bug spray. Seasonally, hands down, bug spray, huge. And I can't tell you any one. I've got people who love the pump, people who like the aerosol, people who like the wipes, people who like the stuff for the kids, the cream, the gentle breeze with the SPF. There's all kinds, baby. But I would say that probably is number 1, along with the skin softener. Skin softeners are huge for me. You know, the ones that come in Sweet Honesty, Far Away, all of that. And then last on my list would be deodorants. Now look, you know what's crazy about that? None of them are big sellers except the Mesmerize. But the crazy thing is, because Avon does that buy one, get one for $1.99, the Wow deals where it's only $9.99, my customers wait until it comes out then, and then they stock up. These things that I've given you are things that have been on Avon's market forever, and they are the 99-cent things. You know, lip balms would probably be like number 11 on my list, okay, but still big. These things are Avon's standbys that they've had forever. Everybody's heard about them, but not everybody's used them. And when I got my customers using them, I can guarantee you that when things get low, they're going to call me. I can pretty much, and what I do a lot of times is when I know that there's a good sale on something, you know, I just put a little note or a label. Labels a lot of times are a lot easier. You can just print them off. Don't miss the special on page 41, Skin So Soft. I don't say what the special is. I want them to go to that page and see it. And if I've put a label on the front of my book, they know there's a good sale that I think they would be interested in. So I hope that helps you. My husband is my awesome spreadsheet keeper, but I have never had him do that, because I truly believe that you have to know your customers and what they buy and what they don't. And I can look at a book and pretty much tell you if that book is going to be a really great campaign for my customers or for my team based on what's on there and what's on sale. So I hope that helps. Let me see here. I know we're not going to get them all. We definitely ain't going to get them all. Let's see here. How do you get your team to place orders? Or better yet, just answer the phone when you call. This comes from Natalie. Natalie, I hear you, girl. I hear you. But again, you're going to think that I'm on their side. Independent sales rep. You can only take so much responsibility for this. Look, if you know that you're doing a good appointment and you know that they're supposed to be putting an order in every 2 weeks, and you are not coming across like their boss, but you know, when it's like, my connection with my team members is automatic. See, when I sign somebody up, I have become their friend in Avon. I know we use the word upline all the time. I hate using that word. I hate that word. It's like team member, you know, or I can be their mentor on something. I say I'm your go-to person. Ask anybody on my team. I will say I'm your go-to person. If you have an issue with your account, you're going to call Avon. But if there's something you want to know about Avon, if there's something you need clarification on, you're going to call me. I'm going to be your go-to person. I'm going to answer those questions for you. And if not, I'm going to tell you where you can get them answered. I am instantly their friend. I'm not their upline, even though I am. Technically, I am, but I try not to be. Okay? So I think the difference, and again, I'm not picking on anyone out there, but the difference between me and look, I have some who don't talk to me. I sign them up and I never hear from them again. I try, but I only reach out for the first 4 campaigns. And if you've got no need to talk to me, then the only thing you're going to get after that is what I send my whole team, my newsletters, something that I think everybody should know, changes coming to the order schedule, whatever it is. So get that, okay? You are not their boss. Their boss can say, get this done or you're fired, okay? I can't say that. I feel like I am blessed to have them on my team if they choose to work. I don't let them be a hindrance because this is the deal. Just because I bring them on when I know I've done everything I need to do, I'm moving on to the next person and bringing somebody else on. I make myself available to my team all the time within certain hours. It used to be, call me anytime. And then they started calling me at 2 in the morning. And I thought, Molly, you dumbass, what are you doing? They're calling you at 2 in the morning. They know they can reach me up till about 9 o'clock at night. And after that, they're going to have to wait till the next day. Or if I'm on Facebook or something. There's so many ways for people to get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you. They have to want to. But what I would ask all of you to do before you put it back on the representative, I would like you to take 2 steps back, and I would like you to consider your presentation. And I don't mean your presentation of your Avon kit. I mean your presentation of you to that person. Have you come across like the friend that wants to help them succeed? Have you come across as the person who you've got the knowledge that if they want the knowledge, if they're receiving of the knowledge, that you can help them get where you're at? If they don't take it, it's okay. And you have to make it okay. You know, you say, oh, well, I've just given that person 40 minutes of my time signing them up, you know, and they haven't done anything. So what? It's the name of the game. You know, my God, if I cried over every person who didn't put in an order or didn't put in an order every campaign or who didn't do what I think they should do, my eyes would be swollen all the time and red, looking like I was drugged up on something. You know, you guys, next. If you know you've done everything that you should do in that LOA 1 through 6, which is the most critical time, this is when they find out whether they really want to stay or whether they're going to move on to something else. And a lot of them move on to something else. That's what I'm telling you. So I say always step back, examine what you do first in your presentation and how you come across, especially when they haven't put that $100 order in and they've cost you that $25 order, because you may be coming across in your attitude to them about what they do and what they don't do, and nobody's going to take that crap from you because they take it from another boss or a husband or somebody else that they feel they have to take it from. And we need to be the exception to the rule. We need to be the person who's there as their friend, that we can help them get where they want to get if they are welcoming to what you're trying to give them. But sometimes it starts with us, and where are we in this business? Again, I will say to you what I say 150 times. Don't make this business about you. Make this business about the people that you are helping. Those who want the help, which is going to be about 20% of the people you sign up, work with them and help them. But otherwise, don't. And by the way, don't rule those other people out, because they may really suck with what they do in the first 3 campaigns. And something can happen in their life in that 3rd campaign, and suddenly they're going to need you and Avon more than they did the first 3 campaigns. And don't you want to be there to know that if they could develop into your next superstar, that you are the one who gets them and they don't just drop off and go to somebody else because it seemed like you always had an attitude every time they didn't do? Guys, you don't know what's going on in their life. And I think a lot of times your attitude is you don't care. You just want them to put in an order. Well, As long as you have that attitude where you're at right now, that's where you're going to stay. Mark my words. Okay? So don't take it personally. Go watch my video that says don't take it personally and learn that magic word. Next. It's okay. When you know you've given them everything you can, but they're still not receiving, move on, people. Don't waste time. Okay? All right. Let me see. Yeah. Let me see. Bump, ba-dum, bump. Okay. I know, Brandon, you talking about Gary Bledsoe. I love Gary Bledsoe, too. He was supposed to go to Hawaii with me, but he didn't. But he's coming to Puerto Rico because he knows I'm going to kick his ass if he don't. Okay, let me see. Next one. If you were starting Avon now, what would you focus on first? Customers or building your team? And a sneaky second question. I hate sneaky questions. How dare you? Would you spend more time marketing online or traditional methods? Great questions. Yes, they are. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Would you focus first on customers or building your team? Okay. You can hear a lot of different answers on this one. All right. A lot of different answers. But this is what I'm going to tell you. We are a sales business. Most people are not going to come into this business because you say, do you want to come in and do you want to be in leadership? Ew. Who wants to hear that? Somebody had said that to me. Ick. No, thank you. It sounds like being a cold caller for selling insurance or something. I find that I have brought more people into this business because I have a testimony to share. I've had more people who have dropped off from Avon with other people years ago, never knew who they were. They've come back on my team because of my testimony. Because I'm real. I try really hard to be real. I talk about my failures. I talk about my successes. I talk about everything, okay? But this is what I believe, and this is why. And not everybody's going to believe this, okay, so that you know. But the truth of the matter is, I feel like that you should concentrate on sales when you first come in. That does not mean that if you have somebody who says they want to sell Avon, you say, oh no, you can't come on now because I have to concentrate on sales first. That's not what I'm telling you, okay? What I'm telling you is, it is so much easier to introduce the leadership opportunity. It's so much easier to introduce what you do when you're able to show somebody else that you're making the money. Think about this. My first order was $53 with Avon. I barely made the $50 cutoff to make any commission at all. If that's all I had to share with somebody, they'd go, yeah, go at it, girl. Let me know when you're doing something and you and I'll talk, okay? But what happened is the campaigns that followed from there, my campaigns were going up to $200 and then $300. And what people were most impressed with was, one, I loved it. And it showed in my face. I loved it because I found something that I could work into my life without taking any more major time away from my boys. I could even take my boys with me to do this if I wanted to. I loved it because I was making money selling these awesome products, and I was able to share it with people. And when I could tell people that I was selling, I was selling $300 worth of Avon, and I was making $100 to $120. And in that whole campaign between selling, putting the order in, delivering it, that I had made $120, and I worked less than 4 to 5 hours on my business, that said something. I had no in-home parties. I was not a part of Facebook. There was no Facebook then. And that was just me out there just giving books out everywhere and tossing books in driveways. When I was able to tell people, when people were like, oh, well, tell me about this Avon, and I could sit down and go, well, let me tell you how I started. My first order was only $53. Well, my team, they love it. They try to beat me now. Most of them do. I'll say, hey, man, saw that first order. And they go, yeah, I know. Your order, what'd you say it was? $53? Yeah. Mine was $189, and I'm like, really? I ain't telling that story no more because I'm really happy for him. That's great. But you know what I realized? I was real. $53, man. I wasn't out there selling $1,000 a campaign. But I showed that if you kept at it, you could do it. So this is My take on this. I love it when you have something to share with people. People don't just want to hear what you have to say. They want to see what you're doing. They want you to show them. They don't just want to talk. They want to hear about what you can make. Look, I love using Lisa Wilbur's testimony for the reps who are in this, and they love it and they want to go far, because I can show them how far they can go. You hearing me? I can show them how far they can go. But the truth of the matter is, when I want to talk about what you really can do and how it really is, I use my own story. Because I was the girl who didn't think I could do anything. I was just desperate. I was so desperate to make money. I needed it so badly that I was willing to try to sell something that I already loved, because I love the products. Okay? So I would say sell. And I don't mean take 2 years selling, because you know what? Avon gives you 4 campaigns at 40% earnings on most of the products. That's 2 months that you should be able to get out there and build a customer base, because they're allowing you to make the higher percentage. And I took advantage of that. And I think everybody should. I think that the do-all for this business is to do both. I'm selling $40,000 worth of Avon a year myself. Don't have to, but I am. And I have a team who we are still continually developing, because I am not done. I want to be Lisa Wilbur. I want to be Dan Mundy. I want to be Teresa Paul. Yeah. Teresa Paul rocks Avon. Let me tell you something. There are people out there who are executives that have had trouble getting their S on because things didn't fall into place for them, who are rocking better sales than I am as a senior. Okay? So the point is, there are people out there that I want to build my business to theirs. I have got people that their names are on my board, because when I can move it over and go, woo, I'm doing the sales she was doing here. That's awesome. And I want to move up to this one. Oh, yeah, the top one is Lisa Wilbur. Lisa Wilbur, my buddy, man. I love Lisa Wilbur. I can't see myself right now making her money. I know it's possible. But I take my goals one at a time. She's top of that mountain. Just like when I didn't have my E on and I wasn't an executive, the S was there. I wanted it. But I couldn't see myself getting my S on because I hadn't gotten my E on. And I couldn't see myself getting my E on until I got my A on. Couldn't see myself at Rose Circle until I made President's Club. This is why we talk about making small to big goals. Make goals that are reachable. Give yourself goals in a time frame. The first year, you want to make President's Club. Second year, you may want to make Honor Society. That's what I did. I couldn't really see myself here, but I had a better chance of hitting here first. And every time I proved myself that I could hit that smaller goal, it just gave me more in here to say, if I did that, I know I can work towards that. So now I'm Rose Circle, and I've got my S on. I'm a senior. I'm a baby senior. Maybe not baby. It might be toddler now, but I still say I'm baby senior. Because my business is not as stable as I would like it. I'm not what I would call a comfortable senior. And that might be why a lot of you listen to me on here, because I'm not the senior who everything is sitting perfectly and they never take title at risk. That's not me. I'm the one who's real and tells you this business can be tough, because your business depends on what other people do that are on your team, which is why you have to treat them like family. You have to treat them like they are your friends in Avon. You have to be there for them. But there's that fine line that you have to teach them to be independent sales reps. So you give them what they need and you coach them instead of doing it for them. There are all these things, okay? Now, I'm going to say that for the next few Friday nights, seeing that I only got through 2 pages of questions, that we're going to be doing this, and I am going to get on these other questions, okay? But this video is now an hour and 23 minutes, and although I feel like I've covered a lot of information, I will continue to cover these until all these questions are done. Feel free to keep sending them in. Guys, don't give up on your business. I know it can be discouraging. I get it. I get it. I live it. Of course I get it. I get discouraged all the time. But think of this. If you don't give up, imagine where you can be a year from now, 5 years from now. You know why? Because we have all this help on here now. Let me reiterate again all your help. So you can't keep feeling sorry for yourself. I ain't got enough line. My district sales manager don't like me, or she don't know what she's doing. Okay, you can't do that shit no more. Hear me? Can't do that. You know why? Because you can get your tail on Facebook and you can play your games. And hey, I'm not against Facebook games. I play them too when I need some off time. I do it too. But you got some wonderful things out there for you right now. Let me mention some names. You have got Gary and Lynette Bledsoe, who do a call, one of the best motivational calls that I know of. When you need to be pumped up, my man Gary and my girl Lynette, they the people to do it, all right? Because they don't cut no bones about it. Gary does a lot of reading with a lot of other multi-level marketing companies, and he researches what these people, Les Brown and all of them, motivational. I mean, I got to tell you, when I just need a kick in the pants to, got to get something for my business, I'm so grateful for them. And their calls are every single Sunday night, okay? Get on the calls and listen to them. If motivation is what you need, that's it. You need to be there. Tuesdays with Teresa. Teresa Paul is one of the dearest friends that I have with Avon and now outside of Avon. I love her. She's crazy. She's rude. She's obnoxious. She's my kind of chick. But she's very, very knowledgeable. And she has been kind enough to do every other Tuesday night talking about sales, fundraisers, things that she did to build her business in sales before she became a senior, to get her on these top trips and everything. Teresa Paul will tell you she is no one special. She's very special to me and Lee. But in reality, she's not anyone special. She got out there, she made her mistakes, she got it done, and now she is paying it forward by sharing it with all of us. And for those who can't be on the call live, guess what? There's replays. Who cares? You can listen to it later. Sales, this girl can rock the sales, the fundraisers, everything. You need to be on the calls. Are you going to learn everything on one call? No. But you know what? I didn't learn everything in the first year, the first 5 years of Avon. By the way, I'm still learning. I am almost 9.5 years into this, and I am still learning. And the day that you quit learning is the day that you're going to stagnate. So hear that. I don't care how much money you're making in this business. You should always be willing to learn from those who've been there. Look, I learned from all of you on the Onward group. You guys come up with some great, great ideas, and I go, dang, I wish I had that idea 5 years ago. I could have probably done something with that. And I take it and I use it in my business now. So don't think that you can't help people, because you do, okay? Let me think. Hold on. Lisa Monison has just started something greatly. The girl's got like live internet radio or something. I'm still trying to learn about that, but Lisa has been advertising this. If you're not Lisa's friend, if you don't want to be her friend, follow her, okay? But the point is, she is doing this where she is interviewing different people on this radio show with different skills, whether the skills are leadership skills or sales skills or whatever they are. This is going to be great. She also does a lot of YouTube videos. Gary does YouTube videos too, okay? So they're not quite as long as mine. Hour, 28 minutes. Good God, Molly. Can't help but y'all answer the questions. Okay, look, I've got calls. I've got calls every other Friday night, conference calls that are open to the entire U.S. You're more than welcome, and there's always playbacks. And then on my off Friday nights, I'm doing these. I'm doing videos so that when you need to click the pause button because the kids need to be fed or the husband and you are going to watch a show, you can come back to this. And maybe you only want to watch it 30 minutes at a time. The point is, there is help out here for you. Isabella Costa doing the Dreams Made Real and things like interviewing top seniors in the nation. Are you kidding me? It is out there. The groups that are on Facebook, look, they're not all good groups. And I don't care if the administrators are on here and you pissed at me for saying that. Some of the crap that goes on in these groups is absolutely relentless. The way you let people dog Avon, the company, and dog other reps and put them down. Shame on you. Okay, I'm done with that, and I ain't naming them out. There's some good ones out there. Really good ones out there. I think that Onward, no matter what, is one of the top ones out there. But that's just me saying, and my husband and I don't take no crap from anybody or anybody coming on there trying to peddle their business or peddle their nonsense or whine or anything else, because y'all know what I say, poof, be gone. We don't see it often, but we see it. Okay? So you've got a lot of help, and I'm sure I'm forgetting people. You know, I've got such jet lag. Okay, we got Gary and Lynette, we got Teresa, we got Isabel, we got Lisa Monison, we got me. Look, the list goes on and on and on and on. Look, there are unit leaders out there right now who are holding their own meetings and conference calls and stuff. I know Heather Frazier, she is, and I commend her for that because she is getting her team together on calls. Do you think you got to be big? You think you got to be a senior to do this stuff? No, you don't. You can have a call and just have it for your team. Where one or two are gathered, there can be success. And that's biblical, okay? One or two are gathered in my name. See what I'm saying to you? It can be biblical too, but it can work in your Avon business. So it's Friday night. I need to get this video uploaded so you guys can be listening to it. I love you all. I love everything you contribute to our group. I love the way you've learned how to support each other. I love the fact that we are 3 months old and we're almost 1,500 members in that group. And it's all about becoming positive and don't bring a problem to the table without a solution. This is what it's about. We raise each other up. So, feel free to share it with your team. But if you think they're a troublemaker, that's what you can do. Not bring them to my group because poof, be gone. Okay? So I say to you, onward, no matter what. Don't you sit and stagnate. Don't you go backwards, and if you do, you better get your tail in gear. You better work your Avon business, and you go onward no matter what, because you are made to be a success in this company. You can make a difference in the next person's life that you come in contact with. It's all in how you handle it. It's all in how you look at it. Be who you are, and if there are things you need to change, work on it. We all do that. I can't wait to get to some of these other questions. I had no idea when this came in I was going to get like 150 questions. There was no way. I thought I would get like 15. We're going to get to them, okay? We're going to learn together. We're going to be successful together. Don't forget that the Dream Board contest, everything has to be in by July the 11th, and Lee and I will announce the winner on the July 12th conference call. We will be giving away an hour session with him and I on the phone or on Skype, kind of helping people figure out where they want to go in their plan. So I can't wait to do that. It's always great to pay it forward and help other people. And some people are going to earn our Dreams Made Real CD telling my story and how I came to Avon and what brought me there. And you know what? Where I'm going, okay? By the way, I want you all with me, but very few end up sticking with it. But I really hope that whoever you are watching this video, I hope you decide to stay with it. I hope you decide not to give up something that could change your life forever. It won't change your life overnight, and it may not change it in a week, a month, or a year. But if you stick with it and you help enough people, this can be the most moving thing you will ever do in your entire journey here on Earth. Okay? So until then, sell, sell, sell. Share, share, share. And don't forget, onward, no matter what. See you guys next Friday on the call.